happy winter solstice. I thought it was time to do a pick a card because this winter solstice has got such a magical energy about it. It's very healing. It's the end of the retethering process, or coming towards the completion of the retethering process that my guides have talked about now for many months, that many of you have written in and commented and told me that you are experiencing. And this is us reconnecting to a new earth energy, with the frequency being set different to that which was before 2020. So we are literally engaging with a completely new quantum grid, and that is redirecting us in such potent and very visceral ways. Some of us are still moving through those energies, but many of the people that are watching and listening to this, and those that are working with me in a strong way, will be probably through some of the harder shifts that they've needed to go through in their energy bodies. So I want to share with you some insights. Winter solstice is a time when the veil is at its thinnest. So this is a perfect time for you if you're wanting clarity, if you're wanting guidance, or to connect with your higher self or your guides. Use this pick a card to get the clarity and the support and the magic and healing that you need. With the earth frequency changes that we are shifting through, we're feeling a lot of support spiritually and from a healing perspective, and in our auric bodies, from the realms from the fourth to the sixth dimension. And these realms, particularly the fourth and fifth dimension, hold a lot of energy that connects with myth and mythological creatures, as well as the fae and the fairy tale realm. So I thought I would use these beautiful inner child cards today, because we are absolutely having a lot of healing of our early experiences and our karmic experiences at this time as the earth's frequency raises. I'm going to choose some cards for you based on what my guides give me, and I'll get you to just take a moment to take a few breaths and connect with your divine higher purpose and your divine guidance. Allow your guides, your angels, your fairies, your higher self to step in and guide you to where you are meant to be, whether you are meant to be with the pile on the left or the pile on the right. Just noting where you're being guided. Allow your body and your breath and your higher self to step in and point you in the right direction for a pure message that's going to support you over the coming months, over this next half of the year, and definitely through these winter months. Okay, so let's start with the first pile. And we have these beautiful inner child tarot fairy tale cards showing up here. What I've done is, just for those of you that are familiar with tarot, is I'm putting beside the Rider-Waite translations of the cards so that I can talk you through fully what the cards mean and the interpretation that my guides are giving me around these cards today. So the first card came up is called the Midas Touch, and it draws on the fairy tale of King Midas. King Midas, whose ambition and, you could say, greed or lust for shiny golden things teaches him a very valuable lesson around the power that he has to bring his wishes to fruition, where he accidentally turns his beloved daughter into gold with his Midas touch. This is related to the card of Justice. And we also have the other major arcana card of the Hanged Man. And this is seen through the fairy tale of Jack and the Beanstalk. So this is a really interesting 2-card spread because notice that we have 2 major arcana cards. When we have major arcana cards, we have a lot of spiritual lessons happening for us. Those of you that chose this pile are likely to be somewhat in between these states. We see Jack untethered, hanging from this precarious position, and we see the King Midas losing his mind somewhat over the situation he finds himself in, where all the best things are happening for him in the way that he has wished, but not exactly turning out as he had planned. What my guides are talking about in terms of this is that whilst things may look chaotic for you right now, there is a necessary healing coming through for many of you that have chosen this card. Not all of you will be in a chaotic state, but some of you may be feeling as if the ground is shifting underneath you. There is a need to make sense of a lot of the lessons that have come through in the last 18 months for those of you that have chosen this card. The card of Justice is a very much a card of a lesson of spiritual cause and effect. What we need to understand is whatever is filtering out of our life at this time, or whatever issues are coming up for clarity, even if they're not particularly challenging, are needing to surface for our own authentic truth. With the Midas touch, what was showing up for me here is that since the shift that we've gone through with the cosmic reset, there is a lot of resetting of energy around authenticity and truth in your life and in the general frequency. So if you have been on a previous course which was set towards perhaps a direction that engaged your ego or engaged old ideas that you had been given perhaps in childhood, perhaps family ideas or cultural ideas that you've inherited, that you've grown beyond, social ideas that you've grown beyond, it is likely that you will be seeing the truth coming out in certain areas of dysfunction in your life or disharmony in your life. And that is for the greater good, but it may be leaving you feeling a little bit concerned. If you are not aware of the disharmony now and life feels pretty balanced, then I want you to use this as a warning that if there is any way that you have allowed your ego to get out of balance or deceived yourself, that in the next few months that's going to be showing up as problems that need to shift. But you're too clever for that. Look at you watching on my healing messages. You're obviously aligned with this. You're obviously proactive and ahead of this. And you're sitting in this state of surrender that the Hangman gives us. Notice that the Hangman, he's looking from a perspective that is wise and different. He's accepting his circumstances as they are, and he's making changes that can be made from a place of self-sacrifice, recognizing that I can cut away things that just don't work for me anymore. If your life is feeling like it's showing up disharmony, disarray, I want you to do the work from an evolved place as much as you can. Ground yourself. We see the Hangman is somewhat untethered. This says to me these people are still going through the retethering process that's going on. So seek connection to nature. Recognize your ultimate power. Recognize the limiting beliefs that are no longer serving you. Also recognize, for me, this is about where perhaps people in our life may be out of touch with the truth. This is all about truth. And you may be watching them closely with a little bit of concern. You may be this beautiful golden daughter, okay? You may be the person who is taking on the role of delivering truth to the people that you love around you, perhaps being suspended in this place of watching change unfold. And you're needing to stay in integrity and authenticity as you deliver that message. Since we've gone through this change of 2020 with the cosmic reset,
energy bullies are no longer going to be able to use their previous power differentials to control us. Energy bullies are people that exist on the spectrum of narcissism, coercive control, manipulation, gaslighting, all of that kind of stuff. It's where the ego has become dominant, where the ego has taken over to protect us from psychological defenses. Narcissists are usually really insecure, hurt, and frightened people that really just want to heal, but they have no idea how to heal. So they're protecting themselves with the superficial. They're protecting themselves with going after their ego dreams. And so this could represent perhaps a coming to terms with ways in which you may have allowed energy bullies to permeate your life, and you taking control back of all of the areas of power, the leaks of power, where your gold has been filtered out. It also can be acceptance and trust that perhaps where people have been cheating themselves or kidding themselves, where you can see that clearly, that there is a coming to balance of that. If you're the person that perhaps has been using behaviors that do not align with your soul frequency, you may be seeing where you've used fear or, lower vibrating tendencies, perhaps anxiety or different states, to keep yourself mired in old energy that this frequency shift is asking you to get out of. So you could be at the experience of healing from the energy bully or the person on the narcissistic spectrum, or you could be someone who was parented by someone who unfortunately had an under-resourced parenting experience and ended up with these narcissistic kind of energy bully tendencies, and you're getting yourself out of that, you're getting unhooked from that, but you're needing to observe these patterns and choose a different direction. Hang in there. This is a time to be relaxed and neutral, really just accepting the situation as it's coming up. I am getting that a lot of people in this situation who chose these cards are healing deep family karma. They're coming to terms with things that perhaps they just hadn't had the time or the awareness to change in the past. This reckoning that's happening in the earth frequency is going to help you get that last little bit of shadow coming through to bring the gold dust, to bring the golden shadow forward. So know that this is ultimately justice coming for you, but it may be asking you to surrender things that you might not have realized needed to be surrendered from your life. This could be people, this could be an identity, this could be ways of being, this could be old ideas that you've been given. This card is very hopeful to me. Well, both of them are really hopeful because together they're saying that you're going to manifest exactly what you want, but in a way that's plentiful. Jack really recognizes through his folly, you could say, naive capacity to stumble on a renewable resource of truth. So know that whatever healing is coming through for you now is creating a resource that is renewable when we're operating from egoic, low vibrating behaviors or limiting ideas that were given to us, that we may have taken on, programming perhaps of the past, of intergenerational trauma that has been socialized or structurally handed to us. Then we are often having to expend a lot of energy to project this version of ourselves that isn't necessarily, showing its beautiful gold from within. So what transmutation is happening for you now, my beauties, is a transmutation that is going to bring you to a place of renewable peace, renewable happiness. The bit that is being stripped away is delivering the truth that allows you to be truly authentic, to live an authentic life where the earth frequency supports you in all you deserve to have. There is a lot of justice coming here from a financial perspective through base chakra and through sacral chakra here, for those of you that got this. And there is a lot of beautiful energy that is showing up, which is to do with permanent resources. You're not having to fight for it anymore, knowing you deserve it. But there's just this last little bit of shadow that needs to be cleared. So I want you to sit down and be honest with yourself. Join me in the practice where I offer loads of tools to do self-healing experiences that allows you to clear your shadow, but from a perspective that is totally trauma-informed. I'm a psychotherapist as well as a psychic healer. It's coming from an evidence-based built set of tools that will help you experience this healing in a supported way. Okay, in a safe, energetically and emotionally supported way. And I want you to make time to reflect on the authenticity that's been lacking in your healing journey. Okay, we all have to go through a period of time where a reckoning takes place, where things need to be shook up. I have had many of these experiences in my life. I'm sure I've got many more to come. But what I've learned is the more I listen to myself, the more I listen to my guides, the more I connect in on intuitively on a daily basis and make it habitual to be guided from within and from an authentic place, the less of these shakeups sort of surprise me. The more I feel like I'm in alignment and I'm surrendering to this halo of wisdom and truth. This is Christ consciousness, the Hanged Man. There's a lot of Christ consciousness in this. So there is a divine healing happening for you, my loves. And there is a way that you can be fostering this beautiful, peaceful truth and this sense of getting what you deserve from a place of receiving the abundance of the earth. So I look forward to hearing from you whether this resonated. I want to say, for those of you in this place, this is a place of somewhat of a mini crisis or a shift, and you can reach out, you can jump on the practice and receive support that way through my online spiritual self-care portal with a web app and with all these tools you can use, or you can choose to book a healing with me face-to-face as of next March. There are appointments there. You can choose to jump online and take the remaining sessions that I have on the online readings that are coming up this year and the beginning of next year. There is a lot of opportunity, and once you've made your appointment or you've joined the practice, you get to go on my wait list if you want to work with me. But you need to commit, okay? Commit to yourself because you deserve it. I'm sending you love and good positive vibration through this healing experience. Hang around if you chose the pile 2. Pile 2. Congratulations, old soul who has chosen this pile, because I have some beautiful news for you. There is a beautiful magic in the air in the reading that is showing up for you here. As with the last reading, I'm going to place the cards that correspond in the Rider-Waite Tarot. Rider-Waite-Smith, I should say. Honouring that beautiful woman of colour that was Pamela Smith, who did the artwork for these gorgeous cards. But when we look at these cards, we've got here the 10 of Hearts, which corresponds with the 10 of Cups, and the Child of Crystals, which is the Page of Pentacles. What I need you to know is, and this is going to make me cry, but those of you that chose this card, you're absolutely old souls. You are very much children that have chosen to come through in this lifetime and do a lot of healing, a lot of karmic healing, and to experience a lot of karmic growth. And because of the challenges you have set up in your past, you are starting to get to a point where you are manifesting an understanding of using your energy in a really powerful way. And this new earth vibration is celebrating that. For the first time in your life, you are experiencing a lightness that you haven't had since your birth. For the first time in your life, you are experiencing the manifestation and the gratitude gratitude of opportunities coming your way, because by God, you have suffered enough and you deserve this. There is a stepping out of karma that happened in the last 3 years and 3 months, they're saying to me, but definitely 3 years. And there is a sense of stepping into an awareness of what you have come to do on your soul mission. Many of you are recognized star seeds, and many of you are what I would call wisdom keepers, souls, old souls that have returned to the earth over and over and over again and have chosen to come back to perform a particular path for that of others. Spirit would not ask you to suffer without reward. That is the nature of this universal energy that we are in. There is a lot of reward coming to you that has felt out of your grip for most of your life. Most of us that are choosing this deck have been born into experiences of familial abuse, childhood abuse that we've had to heal from. We've also been born into intergenerational trauma. We've been born into situations of structural inequity. What that means is poverty or poverty consciousness, limiting beliefs. Many of the people that have chosen this card today have worked through or have spent the last 3 years coming to terms with an awareness that needed to shift through their energy field of the karma that they brought in with them. And that would have felt fucking torturous, excuse my French, but many of you have just completed a cycle of a Saturn return or have had numerous returns of a healing perspective in terms of astrological transits, or have started to make sense of your boundaries as empaths and healed those. I'm not suggesting that life is all roses and everything's going to be golden. What I'm suggesting is you are learning to control the frequencies that are around you for your benefit and to love yourself from deep within. So this card of the 10 of Hearts here, we see this beautiful mermaid and she's balancing the rainbow above her with these beautiful hearts shining through it. This is, I'm coming to a place of emotional peace because I have put the time in to heal myself. I've been honest with myself and I am surmounting some changes that have happened in my life, which I faced head on. I'm seeing progress with this. It is manifesting into a peacefulness and an opportunity that I can trust in. What your guides want you to know is at the moment, things sometimes feel like the good things that are coming in will be taken from you because, old soul, you've experienced all too well just when things get good, shitty things come in and take them away. That is the old frequency of the earth. That is the frequency that we inherited so many times before this, but we've chosen to come back to engage with the Chiron healing bridge, this frequency of awakening. We've chosen to suffer in many lifetimes before to experience a healing unlike any other. So, if for the first time in your life, good things are starting to happen to you and things are feeling easier, I don't want you to sit there and not enjoy that experience because you're worried that this beautiful happiness that you're achieving, or these milestones that are coming through, or these moments of gratitude as you sit in this fifth dimensional frequency as we go through ascension on earth, is going to be taken from you. Dear one, beautiful old soul, wisdom keeper, empath, starseed, what you need to understand is you fucking earned this, okay? And this is not going to be taken from you unless you go into place of fear and old habits which you've unlearned. If you are feeling nervous or anxiety filled because you're tuning in to the collective frequencies of change that are happening in this earth, or you are watching other people go through chaotic shifts, I want you to join me in the practice to give your soul a little thirst quenching peace, to connect into, what is harmony and truth, to get a better relationship with your guides, because you, my dear, do not need to be frightened anymore. The Page of Pentacles is about earth resources. And this is a lot to do with the changes that are happening to the frequency and the shifts within the earth's core, the crystals of the earth. This is an image of Huck Finn. Okay, now the story of Huck Finn teaches a lot about a coming to terms with our earth-based responsibility. This is your guide saying, you know what? You have not hidden from the challenges we've given you. Look at Huck. He has this lifetime of kind of having to fend for himself and remain optimistic. There is an orphan child there. There is a wounded child. There is a lot of themes of healing the inner child coming up. If you feel that you have more inner child healing to do, so you can enjoy what you are learning, so you can enhance what you are channeling through to you and manifesting, I want you to subscribe to my website. I want you to join the practice, and I want you to stay alert or follow me on this account and on my Instagram at Elise Reiki. And my website is elisereiki.com, because I have a healing opportunity that's launching online next year that is aligning with the rising frequencies of the earth, the Fey realm, and the inner child healing. And it is just scrumptious, and I can't wait to share it with you. But this is saying that you have reached a point where you are starting to step into maturity, into this place of this new abundance that is driven from the earth frequency. That abundance can be security, a belief in your own goodness, a belief in your deservedness for happiness, and an experience of immense gratitude. Okay, so there are rewards coming through. If they haven't come through, they are coming through in the next 3 months. There's a lot of love here. So if you're single, there's a self-love theme that's coming through, not in the conjuring of it, but the experience and the reciprocation of it. And this could also mean a beau, a beautiful lover coming into your life, or a sense of coming into a rebirth and a completion energy that is surrendering your fears of not having enough. Okay, so you are healing things in this most dramatic and beautiful way, and you are coming to inherent peace on her earth. There is a line that Jesus said to us, which is that the meek will inherit the earth. Who he's talking about here is the old souls, is the souls that volunteered to go through a shitload of suffering for the growth of our younger souls that were coming in. And we all do this. We volunteer to allow people to grow at our behest as we suffer, and vice versa. Now, what I'm saying there, you don't have to take on, right? I'm not blaming you for your trauma at all. No one deserves any trauma. But what I'm saying is, if you believe in a multidimensional earth and you believe you've returned and returned and returned, you have hit a consciousness awareness where you can now elect to not suffer anymore, my child. So understand that that frequency is upon you. You are absolutely bringing yourself into this higher dimension. Now you get to use it. This is about reaping the rewards. He's fishing. He's bringing up his resources there, right? Teach a man to fish, as the pun goes. There's the frog that represents fertility. There is crystal. There is an abundance of beautiful emotion coming through here. There's all this love coming through. The beautiful mermaid, who represents the sea goat, represents the Capricorn season, the mermaid goat, and we're coming up to a full moon in Capricorn. The mermaid is sitting on the earth on the back of a turtle, right? The wisdom there. But she can navigate the waters of emotion. She can navigate the earth and the water there. And that is also a time, we're seeing a lot of shelled creatures here. We're coming out of our shell. It's safe for us to return. So there is a real rebirth energy happening in your life, in some area of your life. And I'd be particularly looking for this upcoming full moon to really manifest that, which happens in Australia on the 25th. In the early hours of the morning. Capricorn is about earth-based realization of healing. So this is tangible, practical healing. This ain't like just manifesting this shit and hoping it comes through. This is real world change. We're inheriting peace on earth as the meek. We have stepped out of our feelings of surrendering ourselves to karma, and we're stepping into the higher vibration, which says, I can suspend the karma. I've balanced my karma. I do not need to suffer anymore. I have come to experience the full abundance of the earth, no matter what skin I have arrived in, no matter what sexual orientation, what gender spectrum, where however I present myself, whatever challenges I've faced. And I'm not saying that in terms of magical thinking away the impact of these structural inequities or these challenges that we may be born into. What I'm saying is we have experienced a time where you're not going to have to suffer any more of that shit because the consciousness is raising and people aren't going to do that anymore, and you can ask for better, you can demand better, and you are receiving better. So my old soul, I want to congratulate you for returning, for volunteering, for generously coming back, for surrendering the shit that you arrived with, and for engaging in this higher purpose that you are, experiencing. And I want you to take a leaf out of the book that I've been given from my guides, because many old souls have an attitude of service. What I want you to understand is you can be of service, but you don't have to be of suffering. What that means is you can experience the giving of your soul mission and your soul purpose from a place of peace, security, abundance, freedom, love, happiness, without any foreboding joy. You can experience this joy. Nothing's taken from you. Nothing's stripped back. You deserve this. Don't be living in fear. If you are still experiencing the fear template, which has been, 2020, my guides are calling the fear apocalypse. That's what COVID was. It was this issue that swept through to wipe our nervous systems of fear by showing us how pointless fear is, by showing us how primitive fear is. So if you've still got fear templates running for you, book a session with me, join the practice, begin your self-healing journey. I want to help you with that because you don't need to stay stuck in that suffering anymore. And I want to congratulate those of you who have been working with me and have been doing your own work and are feeling yourself coming out of that now, shifting in a different frequency. I mean, thank God, right? We've done enough. Here we are, and it's time to enjoy life. And it's time to be peaceful, and instead of harming and hurting each other and being at war with each other and being at war with ourselves, it's time to be unified in love and in peace, living with full hearts, living with the potential of the earth, living in the frequency of the earth, in harmony with earth and her creatures, as Huck Finn really truly knew how to do, as the mermaids know how to do, right? For holding these transmutatory forms. So I want to tell you that the good is coming into your life. I want you to be grateful for the good that you already see. Don't be frightened to acknowledge it, because it's here to stay. And it is your gift for returning and bringing your light into the world. Namaste.
Thank you for listening to this point. If you resonated with my message, please like and subscribe this channel. But please promise me, if you feel that there are people in your life that can benefit from the messages on this video, I want you to send it to them. I want you to share it with your audience. I have so many tools within the practice that are here for people like yourself, no matter where you are on your healing journey, no matter how spiritual or open you perceive yourself. I have spaces online created just for people like you and your friends and your family who are self-healers, who are here to be very powerful healers and contributors to this earth frequency change. So I would appreciate it so very much if you would share this with anyone you feel that could benefit from it. And I want to send you a river of light and a rainbow of love for this day and your days forward. I'm so grateful to be on the planet at this point in time, and so excited to be here as these frequency shifts bring such blessings and such healings into our life. I wish you all the very best. Namaste.